When I think back on Life Camp, I'm amazed at the process and the journey that we've been on starting in 2008 and just remembering when it was just a concept in my mind and now seeing it as a full-blown reality and all of the children that we've been able to help over the years, and not just the children, but their families over these years. I created Life Camp because I didn't know of any other camp like it, with performing arts as an emphasis, but then also the life skills, the financial literacy, the entrepreneurship, all of those components coming together in one place I hadn't seen before. And so by doing this camp and seeing the results and just how the children responded was something I couldn't have anticipated. But as I now have the opportunity to see some of our original Life Campers as adults and leading their families, many of them are married with their own children, but then seeing the next generation of Life Campers who are coming in at 4 and 5 years old and just watching how they begin to blossom and how they begin to build confidence, that's a priceless experience for me, as a director, and being able to influence and to help cultivate and shape the minds of our youth. And that's so important these days when you have a lot of negative influences out there, but just being in a position where you can be a positive influence and setting that standard for them. And then for them to be able to see a man of color in a positive light as well is good. Even though we have children from many different ethnic backgrounds, it's good for them to have an example of a man of color being representative in a positive way and in a leadership capacity as well. I chose entrepreneurship and financial literacy because those are two areas that I lacked knowledge in when I was going to school, but those are two areas where I excel. So I wanted to make sure that Life Camp served as a complement to our traditional educational system by offering the financial literacy components, which teaches them about how money works and capitalism and investments, so that they're prepared for managing their money when they begin to earn it, because many of them begin to earn money in their teenage years. But I wanted them to have the opportunity to understand some of the traps that are out here, some of the opportunities that are out here. So we offer different challenges. So we call one challenge the Earn It Challenge, where they are responsible for coming up with an idea and a way to earn their money outside of asking their parents for money for a particular field trip. And the only way that you can go on this field trip is if you earn this field trip. That's the only way that you can do it. And to watch these children come up with these ideas is just fascinating to see how creative they are and just how resourceful they are, how they make it happen. And they go on these trips, and to see them on the roller coasters and see them jumping at the trampoline park, to see them knowing that they earned it is a feeling that it's hard to describe. I mean, it's very fulfilling to be able to see them reach that level of accomplishment in their lives at such a young age, because oftentimes we're told you can't become an entrepreneur until you are an adult. But when they open up their lemonade stands, when they go and open their auto detailing companies, when they start moving into landscaping, you see them come up with ideas and the wheels get to turning. What that does is shows them what they can do independently or outside of the different systems that are out here. They see that they can create their own money. And so that's a wonderful thing. As we move forward with Life Camp, we're going to be adding another component, and that is content and media creation, because we're moving into a technology-driven culture. One thing I don't want is for our children to be left behind as it pertains to creating content and telling their stories. So we're now adding video editing and audio editing to our curriculum. And then another part that I'm really excited about is our African immersion curriculum, because in America, we teach our children a lot of different languages, especially children who are of African descent. We teach them Spanish, we teach them French, and now we even have this Chinese immersion curriculum that's really becoming popular. But never in my life have I seen any school, and I'm sure they're out there, but in my environment, I've never seen any school that had an emphasis on teaching African curriculum. And here's why it's important from an entrepreneurial perspective, because Africa is one of the largest, the continent of Africa, okay, is one of the largest and fastest growing economies in the world. And over the next 20 years, Africa is going to be a major player as it pertains to technology, as it pertains to agriculture, as it pertains to textiles and oil and so many different business opportunities. will be coming out of Africa over the next 20 years. Even real estate is going to be popular. What I want to do is prepare our children to take advantage of the many opportunities to not only benefit personally, but to also reinvest into the different countries on the continent of Africa. So that's what our Africa Immersion program does. We teach them the different languages. We help them understand about the different tribes. We help them to understand about the economics of Africa. And then and we have a project which encourages them to learn about the history of the different countries of Africa. So that's why I'm encouraged about this part of the Life Camp program.